There we go. Okay. I'm not going to keep these on because of the glare. It's evening. I'm by myself. I just took my metoprolol, which is a beta blocker. Welcome to, right now, solo iced coffee. That's probably going to change. People will get mad at me. I know it. But my metoprolol is a beta blocker. And I take that when my heart starts to do a lot of skipping, when I can feel a change in my heartbeat and my heart rate goes up. And so I just took that, and I'm also going to take another, I have Pepcid. I have a prescription Pepcid. I don't even remember what it's called anymore. I used to know the names of these things. I have a Meprazole. That's that. I remember the name of that. That's like the big guns. I'll take one of each. I have my water. My husband, George, is at paint class. So I'm uploading my afternoon video, my 4 o'clock video, and I still have my coffee from like 2 p.m. My heart is just skipping like crazy. People will say, well, stop drinking coffee. I know, I got you, I hear you. I hear you, I acknowledge you, all that stuff. I'm going to take my I'll Praise the Lamb. This is a day in my life. I don't need my microphone today, right now, because he's at paint class, so I can talk a little bit louder. A lot of times he's working over in the next bedroom, which is his office and my office, even though I don't need an office. Basically, it's just a desk with my laptop on it. And I don't think he watches my videos. He might like go on and do a like, but I honestly don't think he sits through my videos. And I'm very okay with that. So what was I saying? I talked this afternoon about, and I'm up in my bedroom. The doors are all locked. The outside light is on for him. He'll come in around 9:30. I'm in my bedroom because this is one of my, this is basically my safe place. I was saying this afternoon that I never really knew what to talk about here on YouTube. And I felt as though I didn't have a topic or a thing or something that anyone could relate to, right? And then I recognized after last night and today how big of a topic I have, multiple big, and things that I think are so important. And so I'm 65 years old and 9 months, 65 and 9 months. Yeah, my birthday's in August. So, and George is in his 70th year. So I'm just about finishing my 66th year. I have been on disability for about 7 years-ish after working my whole life from when I was 22. I worked between when I was 16 and 18, and then again when I was 22 on 1 or 2 jobs. And mostly I was a certified nurse aide by trade. And then I had a breakdown. But my whole life I've had anxiety. And I'm not talking a little bit. I'm talking severe anxiety and panic attacks, heart skips, like what I'm dealing with right now. And I realized how big of a topic this is, how life altering, life changing, all that. So I've tried different channel names. You guys have known I've bounced around, and sometimes it just infuriates people, and I'm so sorry. I don't do anything intentionally to infuriate anyone. But I did do a YouTube search to see if I could find anyone who had the channel name The Anxious Woman. And I didn't see anyone with that name, but I found bunches of videos about anxiety, including one woman talking about 4 signs of anxiety. And one of them, she said about difficulty swallowing. And you know, I've talked multiple times about my difficulty in swallowing. She also talked about yawning when people are talking and hiccuping while talking, and I don't remember what the 4th one was, but there's a lot of information out there about anxiety and panic, and I thought, you know what, I have a lifetime of this, and it's severe, and I have also just gone through being a widow in the last year, and March, April, May, almost 3 months. My partner died February 27th of last year. If you've been with me a while, you know that. If you haven't been with me and you're new, my name is Poet. I'm in the state of Pennsylvania. And I lost my partner last February. I was on my own for 6 months. I met someone. I got remarried in January of this year, and he's wonderful. He's an amazing man. I love him a lot. And so anyway, I have widowhood, what all that felt like and still feels like, and getting married after losing your partner and what all that feels like, and trying to manage having a child who's 36 years old, who has a chronic, life-threatening, life-shortening disease, an autoimmune disease, Sjogren's. There's so much, and I find myself on a daily basis showing you guys what I got at the Dollar Tree or what I got at the Dollar Zone, or you know, my little gem art, and yet at the same time I am on the daily absolutely screaming internally trying to survive. So I thought, I'm totally missing the boat here. I've tried so hard every single video to not really show how I struggle. And that's just crazy, because this part of my life is my life, and it affects me 24/7. Like, I don't get a break. There are so many parts and parcels to what I go through. And so there's a million topics, you know, like subtopics and stuff. So I am really, really, really thinking of changing the channel to The Anxious Woman. Now, I said this earlier, before anybody comes at me. Please don't come at me. I don't want to keep these really important things, the knowledge that I have, what I go through, what I experience, what this feels like, from anyone. And my channel name, Solo Iced Coffee, doesn't tell anyone anything. It's a very, I don't want to say bland, but it doesn't give the information if someone should search out a specific topic. My heart is giving me a real problem. So if I make this change, okay, now I'm giving 2 videos where I'm saying, look, this could very well happen. If you're subscribed to me here with Solo Iced Coffee, if you're subscribed, I'm not going to disappear from your subscription list. Okay, I will still be there. My profile picture, my background picture, the only what's going to be different would be the title, my channel name. I still will keep the same, whatever I have at Poet Moon or whatever it is. I'm not sure exactly how it's put out, but I think it's at Poet Moon or something like that. That will stay the same. Okay, that little name, that at name will stay the same. Picture will stay the same, background will stay the same. The title of the channel will change. If you're not subscribed to me, there's where there might be a problem, because then you have to find me as the anxious woman. And there's a lot of anxiety videos out there and different things pop up. But I'm pretty sure that I'm listed as at Poet Moon. And you can look at that. You can check that like now on my channel. If you go to my main channel, it will show you what my name is. And I'm facing a window and there's all kinds of people walking around. It finally stopped raining after 3 days. I was ready to build an ark and the sun is out and it's not supposed to rain tomorrow. And I'm so grateful. But anyway, so I know people have said, please stop changing your channel name. I had like a 2-month time frame where I changed my name like 3 times. I went from The Wayward Widow, I went to Coffee with Poet, I went to Solo Iced Coffee, and there was a lot of bouncing around. And I've been Solo Iced Coffee for a while now. And I'm realizing how much of my life that I'm totally not putting out there. And I'm doing these videos like, oh, I got this little earring, or oh, I went to the dollar store or Dollar Zone and bought a plant hanger or whatever. But it's just so time to talk about what Sky's death was like for me, what getting remarried so quickly is like for me, what it's like for my husband to be married to a woman with this amount of anxiety. Excuse me. What it's like for our everyday existence. What it's like for excursions and things. What it's like for me to make phone calls, me to go in grocery stores, me to just try and get through my day and help him by making phone calls and things like that. How I have to time everything around my medication, how hard it is now that I'm not in counseling anymore because I can't afford it. I have a $40 copay and I should be talking to my therapist weekly, and that's $160 a month, and that's just not something that can happen. And I talked at length with my psychiatrist about that, and she completely understands. Now, next month, I start with a new PCP. I'm going to be seeing George's doctor, so woman, and it'll be my first time as her patient. I have met her twice through George's visits, and she's extremely pleasant, and I think that her and I will build a very good rapport, and she's going to understand a lot of what I'm saying. But I would really like to have this channel be something where people can learn from me what this feels like and what I do on a daily basis to try and get through. Because it's not as though I get a break. I don't get a break. I don't get a break from this. I am the 7th child of 8. My mom had a baby a long time ago that died at birth. and then went on to have 7 children after that. And I am the next to the youngest at 65 years old. And my first memory of anxiety, clear memory, was when I was 5 and starting kindergarten. It's been a lifetime. My doctor, my PCP that I had for 25 years or so, and he retired last year, he would say to me, like after I had my hysterectomy in my 40s, he would say, you know, Poet, this will get better and easier as you get older. It doesn't. It hasn't. There's no easier. There's no, I'm going to carry this until I die. Like, it's a given. My mother had this condition. I have so many memories of my mother and her anxiety. So many. And my son that has Sjogren's has it. I have a daughter in Texas that has it. I have a son locally that has it. And George has a touch of anxiety. He just handles his a whole lot differently than I handle mine. And I've been evaluated by 3 different psychiatrists over the years. All the same diagnosis: severe anxiety, severe panic, OCD, agoraphobia, major depressive disorder, I said agoraphobia, and BPD, which is mood regulation disorder. They change it up. It used to be borderline personality disorder. Now it's mood regulation disorder, I think they call it now. My heart is going through these things, this Skippy thing. So what I want to do is I want to break down these videos, and I want to have a topic for each one to talk about all the different parts and parcels of my anxiety and my panic attacks, how it affects my everyday 24/7, whether it's in the morning and I'm just trying to wake up after being awake most of the night and falling asleep at dawn, whether it's the nightmares, whether it's the absolute terror of making a phone call, whether it's the difficulty to impossibility of creating and maintaining friendships, the fear of using social media like Messenger and Facebook when I never had that fear before. Like I could do that, and now it's just, everything is worse. Everything is worse for me. Going into the grocery store, going into checkout lines, someone coming to the door, family situations. Now, George's family is not super tight, so some family members are out of state. At least 3 of them are out of state. And his parents have passed on. So the family's not super tight. My family is not tight at all. My parents are gone. They've passed. My 4 oldest siblings have passed on. I lost a brother-in-law that I love dearly. And of course, Sky is gone. And George lost his brother a year ago on the 14th of this month, so we'll be experiencing that. His parents are gone. And so he has a brother out of state, a son out of state, a daughter out of state. And so there's the anxiety, to try to explain it, and I'm going to try the best I can to explain that part, what a panic attack feels like, what my medication does, what the fears of being on a medication like a benzodiazepine, what it feels like to not know whether or not whether you should call 911 or whether I should go to the hospital when I'm having an attack. I how this affects my marriage, how George feels about being married to someone with this level of anxiety, how I managed my anxiety while Sky was in the deep sickness part to his dying part, how I got through that, what all that felt like, what it felt like when I had to put my cat down, what it felt like as I moved around over my lifetime, what it felt like to work, not one but two jobs, and how I managed that, what my breakdowns felt like and feel like, because I still have them, nervous breakdowns. I don't know, they go by so many different names. But all these things are real, and I experience them all the time. And at the same time, I do all the things I'm supposed to. I do the whole green tea, hydrate with water, take the walks, eat a fairly healthy diet. I try to get as much sleep as I can. I want to get a good night's sleep. I want to sleep. And I keep busy during the day, as busy as I can, so that I don't think about what I'm going through, what it's like to try and schedule dentist appointments, what it's like to not be able to go for a mammogram for fear, what it's like to try and go into the eye doctor and order a new set of contact lenses. I mean, simple things for most of the population. What it's like to try and build a friendship. I have a neighbor one house over. We're in an HOA community. So there's 6 houses in this stretch. There's, I think, 4 houses or so in that stretch. There's like 6 houses in this stretch. There's 6 houses in this stretch. And I have a neighbor one house over. And there's a neighbor over here, but we've had no communication. They keep to themselves. My next door neighbor, I've never met. It's just a woman by herself. The next door neighbor after her, we have met and spoke with twice. She came to our door and introduced herself. And so we've talked to her 2 times since then, George and I together. And I would love to go over and sit with her and just, talk. And maybe at some point I can and I will. She works full time and comes home in the evening. And then sometimes I'll see her sitting out on her porch, but so much stops me. Like, my life is so strange. I have safe places. My bedroom is a safe place. I have safe things. My robe that I'm putting on right now is one of my safe garments. It's warm. It's comforting. It's crazy what I go through. And I know there's so many other people that go through this. And try and talk to somebody about it. Like, try and explain it. Try and, George says to me over and over, he says, "Poet, you're not a burden. You're not an inconvenience." He tells me that all the time. "Honey, you're not a burden. You're not an inconvenience." I'm going to switch out to my water. You know how good that makes me feel? He's an amazing husband. Amazing. I panic over everything. Everything. Tomorrow we're going to get a delivery. UPS, FedEx, I believe, is the delivery company who's going to be bringing lattice, 3 pieces of lattice. Well, it's just a matter of FedEx leaving the things at our door, right? But there's an anxiety there. When if I try to order something and there's an error, I need to make a call. Like, here's an example. I recently got a car, which I'm very grateful for. And we had to do that because George's car is not going to be roadworthy all that long. His car's going to be inspected in a week or so, and there's an issue with the muffler. The muffler broke, the pipe broke partway. The mechanic already checked it and is going to fix it next week when he does the inspection. The car is a 2006, and there's going to come a point where it doesn't pay to put the money into it, you know? And so it's been in the shop, I don't know, what did I say, 4 or 5 times since he and I have been together for various things. And so we both knew we needed a second car. And I had given up my car last year. After Sky passed away, I returned my leased vehicle early to get the equity out of it to be able to pay my rent. So I have a car now, a leased vehicle, and I went online and set up automatic withdrawal payments. So what they did, my financing company, what they did was they took the first payment that was due, and then they went ahead and took a second payment at the same time, which was over $600. That just, you know, like, what the heck are you doing? So I had to call them up, which was a whole thing in itself because I had to get myself together enough to do it, right? Explain, you know, what happened. Why did you take 2 payments? So they explained the way they looked at it. And so the gentleman said he will hold the payment. They'll hold the payment for May and do the payment for June. But to check back with them to make sure that that's the case. And today I get an email in George's name into my email because his name is on the car also. And it says, hey, you need to set up your payments on the car. You don't want to miss a payment. Well, I already have everything set up in my name, which means I'm going to need to go on my site online and find out what they're doing there. And if there's the number that I can find again, if they're still there, I need to call them and make sure that everything is all straightened out. But it's these kind of things, you know. We have to have our roof replaced. We bought the townhouse in February, and the roof could not be checked because it was covered in snow, nor could our AC be checked because it was the middle of winter. So the AC guy is coming on Friday to clean it and check it out and see if it's run worthy for the summer, right? It's an older unit. And George just put in all the paperwork to the HOA for approval for the company to put the new roof on, because when you do something like that, you need to run it by the HOA and get approval. So he tackled that. And there's a lot of things he tackles just so that I don't have to. But at the same time, there's a lot of things I don't know about the finances and what needs to be paid when and all that, because he has everything set up on his end. So that creates a new kind of anxiety in me, because I haven't been a homeowner since 2009 was the last time I was a homeowner. And that was only for 1 year. And so I panic over the thought of, if something were to happen to George and he passes away suddenly, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the bills. I don't know account numbers. I don't know anything because of the way he has everything set up. And so that creates a whole new set of anxiety. Like, I don't even know how to contact the HOA. So this is all something that I've brought up with him a few times. Like, do you think there's a way that I can get all this information so that I know what I'm doing in case of, you know? And so he's working on a spreadsheet, and he's been working on a spreadsheet for weeks. And there's always something that comes up that has to get done. And so that just hasn't happened. So I'm clueless, and I don't know a damn thing about anything other than what paperwork I can go through that's, in paper form to try and help me to figure things out. But these are just like parts and parcels of the added anxiety that I go through. I don't know how to get beyond this, folks. I don't. My spine is killing me. I get pain in my spine so severe from holding myself so tight and stiff. And I cry a lot when no one is around. Everything frightens me. Everything. And I want to start talking about these things. I want to give information that makes sense to people. I want to be helpful. I want to be informative. I don't want to just show you here, I got this from Temu, I mean, it's nice to do that now and then, but I don't want that to be the topic of my videos. I want to talk about what this feels like. So if, and I'll probably do one more video where I talk about the channel name change so that everybody is aware to look for The Anxious Woman. And again, if you're subscribed, nothing's going to change. It's just going to come up as The Anxious Woman. Okay. And, but if you're not subscribed and you want to stay with me so that you don't lose me in transition, hit the subscribe. So I'm not saying that so that I get more subscribers. I'm just saying if you want to stay, with me and not lose me in all the mess of YouTube, if you hit the subscribe, then if I change the name, which I probably will, I'm just giving lengthy, multiple heads up. Yeah, hit. So I'm going to go. I'm not feeling great. I had that nightmare. I was awake. I woke up at 2:00 and I couldn't get back to sleep, and I was still awake at 5:30. And I fell asleep for just like 10 minutes, and I had this nightmare, and it affected me so deeply that I couldn't function. And I took my medication a couple hours early, and I fell into a deep, deep, deep sleep from like 6:30 or so until 11 o'clock this morning. I woke up and it was like 11:10 or something. And I got up. It took a while for me to kind of get my wits about me. I cried. I told George what I had dreamt about. I got dressed. I did my Tuesday house chores, which was watering the plants and doing the Windexing. I got that done. I made 2 phone calls that I needed to make. I got that done. We had lunch. The house is clean. It's spotless. I was in touch with my son, who has a Sjogren, so that got done. But I'm missing out. I'm missing out on so much of life. I'm missing out on conversations with really wonderful people out of this insane, ridiculous fear. and my heart decides today that it's just going to just be crazy. So I'm going to check my heart rate and just see like where I am right now. I know I'm exhausted. I'm probably a bit dehydrated. I don't know. Hopefully the new direction of the channel is going to be helpful to people. And George will be with me, and he's going to do a sit down with me to talk about what this feels like for him. And I just want to bring an awareness as to what I go through, what widowhood felt like, what Sky's passing felt like, what hospice, him being on hospice, trying to get answers from doctors, getting remarried, trusting my heart again, going through the fear and worry of what if I become a widow again, living in an area that I don't know, in a new home that I'm still trying to get comfortable in. There's like a million things. Worrying about finances and are we going to be okay financially? There's a million things. So keep your eyes out. I'll probably do one more video with the same name, with Solo Iced Coffee, and mention it one more time. And if I change the name, which I probably will, I will try to put in the title. I will try to put in the title, The Anxious Woman / Solo Iced Coffee, or something like that, or in the description, because when you look at the channel name, you can see, or the video, you can see the first line of the description, and I'll put it in there. It's me, Poet Solo Iced Coffee, just so you know. And I'll lose people. People go away when there's a name change, and then, you know, people might come back, but I can't worry about that. Right now, it's just a matter of getting information out there, which I think will be helpful to people, if nothing more than for someone to know that they are not doing this on their own. You hear this time and time again. I'm doing this to help people, to bring awareness. I'm doing it because I need to purge out what I'm going through and how tired I am of it. How tired I am of not having friends, not being able to have friendships, not being able to go places, the nightmares, the sleeplessness, I'm worn from it. I'm tired from it. And I'm tired of being scared, and there's got to be answers. There's got to be more answers. So I'm going to go. I'll talk to you later.